Hello, Hopog High School students, parents, and staff. Mostly for students and parents, this video is for. I want to take a few minutes just to talk with you quickly about these, our ID cards. Before getting into that, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope you have a great holiday season as you get ready for everything. But I do want to talk about this important safety measure that we've been talking about for a long time. When I took over as principal in 2021, almost right after that, we implemented a policy where students had to have and wear their ID cards. We've worked on positive messaging, trying to advertise the importance of it. And we have students that they have them every day. For the most part, we have 100% compliance in students having them on a daily basis, and they understand the importance of that. We've added utility to the IDs. Students have to scan in the mornings. They have to scan at restrooms. They can use them at the lunch line, but we need to expand that. And we now need to get to a point where students are complying with the expectation of wearing them. All right. There's a lot of reasons why this is an important safety measure. It's not just something I believe in. It's something that's important in many places, and it's something the district believes in. And it's time for us to adopt this safety measure. All right. So again, some of the why behind it, it's important to know so that it's not something that you're just doing for the sake of doing it. ID badges help with identification. All right, they can help anyone that's in the building know who should be there. All right, there's over 1,000 students here, over 200 staff members. The only way to easily identify who should be here is if they're wearing an ID badge. We might have substitute teachers on a daily basis that don't know their students. So if students have the ID badges on, it's easy to identify who should be there. It's also important for emergencies, right? If we ever have a medical emergency or something like that, the easiest way to identify a student quickly in an emergency is if we know that they're going to have their badge on. We might have a staff member that attends to an emergency and doesn't know the student. And for us to act quickly and get medical attention and contact parents, we need to have a quick way to identify who the student is. Those are just some of the reasons. But another reason is your future. A lot of colleges and careers require ID badges to be worn all the time, especially in careers. If you work in a hospital, if you work in a school, a lot of corporate offices, you have to be wearing identification at all times for safety and to access things. So in time, the district is going to be expanding the use of these IDs, and just like we will. We're going to be expanding their use in the near future, but we want to get everyone in the habit of wearing them. So a couple of new things we're going to add in to enforce that. What we're basically going to be telling you is that in order to access any of the important areas in the building, I'm not talking about classrooms, those are obviously going to be accessed for anyone, but if you're going to plan on using any of our restrooms, the library, our guidance office, or our lunch line, if you're going to any of those places, you need to have your ID worn. Okay, so when you enter those areas, if you don't have your ID on, you will not be given access. Same thing in the morning, all right? If when you enter the building, you have to have your ID on you, wearing it with your lanyard. If you don't have it, you will be asked to wait until a new one is printed, all right? There's not going to be any more temporary badges. You're going to have to wait. You will not be given access to the building without having a lanyard with your ID. All right, so please take this seriously, understand its importance, understand the reason that we're doing this is because of the reasons I mentioned and how important it is. All right, and some of the expectations we've been talking about are still in effect. If you're in the hallway, you need to have your ID on you. It should be worn at all times. Just get in the habit of wearing it all the time. Obviously, there will be times you might want to take it off, maybe for athletics, maybe for phys ed. That's understandable. But when you're in the building, in the learning environment, going classroom to classroom or to a restroom or visiting any other place in the building, have your ID badge on you so anyone can identify you at any time. If you don't have it, you're going to have to wait to have it reprinted. And if you don't comply with this, there's obviously going to be follow-up with disciplinary consequences. So I would like for everyone to adopt the measure. It's been a while that we've been talking about it. It's now time. So we're going to put these measures into place on January 6th, the day we return from break. So you have a few weeks to make sure you have a lanyard, make sure you practice it. I'd like to see people starting to come in and doing it already. And once we get to a point of full adoption, we could think of pulling back things like the detention that are automatic for not having an ID. Let's get in the habit of it. Let's work together on it and adopt this safety measure so we can make this building as safe as it possibly can be. All right, if you need a lanyard, stop by room 302. You could stop by room 200, which is the attendance office. You could stop by the main office, room 249. We have tons of lanyards. You could choose whatever lanyard you want. As long as your ID is inside of it, you'll be able to access anything, and you'll be in compliance with my expectations. All right, if you have any questions, please seek me out. Seek out your assistant principal. We'd be happy to answer any questions. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and I appreciate ahead of time everyone's compliance with this expectation. All right, have a great rest of your day.